Right. So just to recap then, what
Yeah.
you're trying to do is for number one, because I've just started recording, so I'm recapping now. So for the first assignment, it's looking at something that's being debated or discussed currently.
Yeah.
And asking what are the key arguments, or highlighting what are the key arguments for yourself through working through the issue, and how can you relate that to theory? What is it that particular perspectives from moral philosophy or ethical theory can help to generate a discussion of how to respond to these issues? Because depending on the position that you take determines how you will discuss these issues, because you have a principled framework of how you see the individual, how you see education and the role that education has, and what the aim is. So that's why the theory helps you to show ways in which you can discuss the key arguments and the claims that are being made in the topic that you've chosen from the article, from the media. And again, it's from a credible source. So BBC, Guardian, you might even look at other, broadsheet papers as well, or sites. So that's where we start to engage with current debate in education. And because we're asking, then why is it important? Why are we asking these questions? Why is this article getting our attention? Because something is clearly important. And so the principled discussion through the theory helps to discuss further what should be happening, what ought we be doing. And this is how you can then relate to the topic and bring in examples of what examples can you draw on, maybe from your experience, or what you can imagine, or anecdotally, that can help to support your discussion.
I just have a question
about what can be done in practice. Okay, go ahead.
So if I'm giving an example on to try and show my understanding, would it be sensible to refer to my to write in first place?
In first
just
person?
With the in first person, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I don't think it's necessary, because I think what you're trying to do is engage with the arguments. And if you relate to it, you needn't say, for example, when I was in my, school, I can remember, what you could say instead is, for example, a teacher facing a group of 35 students, right, may find challenges in trying to implement this particular claim of value of using, I don't know, particular devices or technology to help stimulate young people and get them to become more autonomous in their thinking, for example. I mean, I'm just making this up, right?
No, that's
There's an example, right? So in my way of trying to relate, I'm thinking, well, what are the implications? What do I know about education? How can I imagine this working through? And if it works through in a way that supports reasonable, claims, and is supported by the theory, then it suggests that maybe there's some weight to the arguments, or the claim that's being made has been supported in a reasonable way with the arguments that have been presented, and that theory can support that. And if that's true, then you have a strong case. If it isn't true, then you will then have further questions and say, well, what if? Right? So that's where you can have something to say, and your voice comes through your analysis. And your analysis is strengthened by the knowledge that you have of the readings that you've done. And then the way that you present that, but not just present it so that you then get in your feedback, oh, this is very good, but very descriptive. Do you see what I mean? But actually, you've reflected on this, and you've raised questions, and you've also taken into account wider reading that helps to present counter arguments. So do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then not forgetting the fact that you want to say, well, what are the implications then for practice? Given what we understand from the discussion, given what we know about the principled response from different theoretical positions, what does this say about what ought to be done, or what, what's reasonable?
Yeah.
That would be for number one. And then for number
Thank
two,
you.
what you're
Yeah.
saying is, for the second part, is
Yeah.
this particular chapter looks at
Yeah.
a principled framework of seeing the individual and others and what really is important, based on key arguments
Yeah.
that help to inform what we should be aiming for if we take this approach for education. And here are some of the arguments. If we look at the arguments, then what you're doing is relating that to examples you can think of to see
Yeah.
whether you would be sympathetic to that particular approach, that you see it working in practice, or whether
Yeah.
you might have some objections to that way
Yeah.
of approaching an outlook, because it wouldn't work in practice.
Yeah.
And you would then give examples.
All right. Okay.
Do you see? And
Yeah.
all the philosophical approaches to trying to get your teeth into what really matters, using
Yeah.
examples, using counter arguments, helps you to develop your case.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay? You're very welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I get it now. Yeah, because with the second one, I was able to start and plan out my essay and actually start writing it. Whereas the first one, I wasn't sure whether to choose an article or a chapter, because I've already done this module before. And when I looked at my other previous assignment, it was slightly different, but it still was based around the same concept.
Yes, I mean, I think some students might want to do the same type of area.
Yeah.
And all I would say is be careful that you're not repeating yourself.
Yeah.
So you're not picking up similarities between both assignments, because it is possible to talk about teaching happiness and hedonism, but looking at it from it just makes it a bit more challenging, because you've got to be careful not to repeat yourself. Is that helpful?
Very helpful. Thank you so much.
Because this year, what the students had as an option was to choose an article from a journal if they didn't want to take a chapter from Schaefer-Landau. And then that way, what you're doing is you're doing something that academics do, and that is take someone's position and then see if you agree with it based on the arguments and the theories that they've used, and then respond to it by extending your basis of reading from your wider reading and from the key text, to say what your objections might be, or what your position is based on what they've presented, and if you support it, how you support it, and how you might imagine the implications for education. So it's the same thing, same approach, but rather than using a chapter, it's using an article from a journal. And the journals are those that we've got in the handbook. So,
I've seen some of them.
Education and philosophy for education for Great Britain, for example, or research and education. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the support.
No, you're very welcome. I might share it with other students now that it's recorded, because it helps when you have conversations, that you hear things and work things through. So this is one of the benefits of Zoom, I think.
I was listening to the other meeting you had with the other girls the other day. It was really helpful. That's what helped me to get ahead with my second assignment.
Well, I'm really pleased to hear that. Okay. Is that everything in terms of ethical dialogue? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks
and are
so
you
much.
happy with the other questions that you have?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Enjoy the sunshine. Have a break from studying from time to time, just to refresh yourself and get the blood flowing, But
Yeah.
try to enjoy the experience of preparing your assignments, because
Yeah, I
this
will.
is really a way of getting, you know, you're trying to make the most and show your strengths, right?
Yeah.
So good luck.
Thank you so much. I hope
You're
you
very
enjoy the
welcome.
rest of your day as well.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.